I already knew that y'all were gonna have a hard time with this character. So let me go on record by saying I believe that Perfidia Beverly Hills is one of the most well-written Black women characters in cinema history. Unfortunately, the raw depictions of her shortcomings, paired with the fact that she is a Black woman in touch with her sexuality, leading a cause, makes that statement a hot take. But please let me cook. When a woman haunts the narrative of the story, she is, in the eyes of the people remembering her, perfect. You've heard the tropes. Lines like, she was so free, fearless, yada, yada, yada. The ghosts, especially in regards to important causes, are always some variation of the manic pixie dream girl. The girl that's different, who subverts societal norms and challenges the protagonist to see the world in a different light. But the reality of the manic pixie dream girl is no one knows her. We only see her through the eyes of the people who commodify her. She has no thoughts or motivations outside of moving the story forward. You'll never see her mask slip. And if she does have flaws, it will be revealed later in the story after she's long gone as a twist to challenge the protagonist. All of the marketing that we saw in this film suggests that Perfidia would fit into these tropes. A mother and a revolutionary who lost her life to the cause. Paul Thomas Anderson makes it immediately clear that that is not the case. Perfidia is a performer raised in the revolution without the burden of consequence. She understands the dangers of being a revolutionary, but the consequences of being one was never her reality. Being a revolutionary was simply her life. The issue with living is you don't put much thought into it, especially when your role is to live fearlessly. Unlike the typical hardcore female leader that we see in films, Perfidia is feminine, in touch with her sexuality, erratic, emotional, and flawed. We get to see the events leading up to her ultimate betrayal from a third-person view, and then she haunts the narrative through everyone else's perspective, driving home the point that people don't know who she is. Perfidia is first and foremost a performer. She wears a mask and keeps a strong face on as a leader to help motivate those around her. The problem was she never knew when to take it off. Her relationship with Bob was an act of defiance. He's a white man who's sympathetic to the cause but not truly a part of it. Her dominating him and using her status as a Black woman in the revolution gives her a moral high ground and power that she otherwise wouldn't feel as a Black woman in America. And we see her flex that with her interactions with Lockjaw. Her way of humiliating him is through sexual assault. And when that sexual assault distorts his fucked up mind and leads him to obsessing over her and coercing her into sex, she makes sure that no one catches her slipping, even her abusers, leading her to choose to sexually dominate her rapist, an act that confuses Lockjaw and by proxy the audience. If she's the victim, why did she put so much effort into her assault? And that's what makes her such an incredible character. She is not the perfect victim. Her postpartum depression, escalated by her sexual assault, causes her to be paranoid and erratic. And because she chose Bob as a partner, she has no one to lead her through it. Her power was in her body and what she could do with it. And now that her body has changed, what is her worth? What would people think if they found out her secret? Lockjaw was the first person to truly show Perfidia what the consequences of being a revolutionary really is. And that's why she immediately folded. And it's easy to judge her because her actions and arrogance in the beginning makes her unlikable. But the rest of the film shows that everyone moves in the exact same manner. Everyone snitches, including our level-headed queen, Deandra. But it's easier to be angry at Perfidia and judge her because as an audience member, we want to humble her. Y'all can't even stop drinking Starbucks and y'all think that Perfidia is wrong for avoiding imminent torture and death? Or did we hate her because she's not the mother that we feel like she should be? Mental illness be damned, a mother abandoning a child is the greatest sin. In the end, Perfidia was the most revolutionary character because she chose to live freely despite the restrictions that society put on her. The issue with freedom is it's expensive, and Perfidia paid that price by being exiled and having to live with her decision, something that she clearly regrets in one of the most heartbreaking letters I've ever her, delivered by excellent voice work from Tiana Taylor. Paul Thomas Anderson wrote Perfidia as a human being, and the way that we interpret her character based on our own internal biases says more about our state of mind than who she really is. But tell me, what were your thoughts on Perfidia? Let me know in my comments below. And if you want to hear me talk more about this film, I did a 1-hour chat with the creator Cut Creaser, which you can find on my YouTube. But until next time, have a fantastic week, my friends.